Hello friends, in today's video I'd like to address the question, who is man and why do we exist here on this earth? People who advocate the theory of evolution would have us believe that we're just more advanced animals. We've just evolved more than the other animals have. And our existence here on this earth, well, it's just by chance. It's just circumstantial. Everything just happened to work out just right that we were able to come to be. But really, there's nothing special about us. We're just more advanced. Don't you believe it? It is a lie. Look, man has been created by God for a very special purpose here on this earth. And we have a very special place in the eyes of God. And we see this in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. This verse says, "Then God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish of the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." Man and woman were the very last things that God created, and we are the only things that God created in His image. And look, there is nothing, absolutely nothing else in creation that is like man in these regards. We have been created to be like God. We have been created in His image. And man has a very special place in the eyes of God. And King David comments on this in Psalms chapter 8, verses 3 and 4. These are two verses out of the Bible. And King David says, "When I consider the heavens, which are the work of your fingers, and the moon and stars which you have set in place, what is mankind that you are mindful of us and care for us?" That's a good question. I mean, David steps out into the night and he sees the night sky and he sees the stars that just seem to stretch out into forever. And he sees the moon and he sees the greatness of the sun during the daytime. And he's like, man, we're just like ants crawling around on this earth. What are we that God is mindful of us? What are we that God cares for us? And his statements are a recognition that God does care for us and God is mindful of us. These statements are true. And it's because God created us for a very special purpose. And that purpose is this: God created us to know Him. God created man to know God and have a personal relationship with Him. And look, right after God created the heavens and the earth and mankind, the Bible tells us God would physically come to this earth and He would walk and talk with Adam and Eve. Isn't that incredible? God and man communing with each other as a friend communes with a friend. But unfortunately, something happened that severed that relationship. Something happened that damaged that relationship. And we see it in the world because it is real obvious. You look around at what's going on in the world right now and things are not right. Things are not as they should be. I mean, governments are screwed up. People are screwed up. It is within our nature, seems, to live selfishly, being mindful of ourselves and not being mindful of others. And then there's disease, there's starvation, there's death, suffering, corruption. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And it's very obvious from reading the Bible, God did not create the earth this way. So something happened. Something happened that damaged His creation and brought corruption to it. Something happened to man where man was intended to have a relationship with God. Now we don't. And we're kind of going our own way and doing our own thing. And we're very far from God. This is not how God intended things to be. But something happened that brought destruction to what He intended, that ruined the good He had planned. And like I said, we'll discuss what that is in the next video. But just be thinking about that. Okay? Thank you.